You see things like colors are very specific. Sometimes you may see colors within a dream. That isn't a reference to your photon light body or your chakras, basically. So when you're seeing certain colors in the dream, you should reference those things to the centers within the body. And we pretty much make decisions with all of these centers. We make decisions with our mind, with our vocal, which is the blue energy, or our heart, which is the green energy, or our stomach, our solar plexus, which is yellow, our sacral chakra, which is orange, or the root chakra, which is red. And those colors can be indications of things that are going on within those energy centers of the body, or even decisions that you're making with those energy centers of the body. When you talk about interpreting dreams, you should be looking at all of these different things. And I mean, every single thing has meaning in the dream space. And you should be taking it in parable form, looking at things like earth, wind, fire, water, and what their meanings are in the waking, and how you can apply that to a logical sense in your waking world. It could be a problem or an issue that you're experiencing, and your dream is basically projecting these particular things into your mind. And this is how you become a master at interpreting your dreams, is if you are reasoning with the understanding that your mind is actually giving you a projection and trying to show you something to create a balance within your life. Or it could be an injection, such as a prophetic dream, that is to create balance within the world, or to show you the future of how balance is going to be restored. Injecting into the dreams via prophecy or having dreams about the future is more so your brain giving you a glimpse on how problems will be solved in the larger scheme of the world, or our connectedness as the collective consciousness. And those are the injection dreams into your projection. So your dreams are projections. However, they can be projected from your own personal experiences in your own brain, working out scenarios within your brain, as well as injected through the collective consciousness. You can have projections that are solving problems for the collective if you're connected and tapped in like that. Okay. Now for astral, that to me is an entirely different thing. When you're talking about being able to control these spaces when you sleep or walk out of your body, that is a totally different thing. Astral projection is tricky because it is not necessarily a projection. You may be able to astral travel and control the dream realm, or be conscious within the dream realm, versus you allowing your brain to kind of project and do what it wants to do. You can become conscious within the dream state, and you can also project your body into various spaces, even travel throughout the world, or wherever it is that you tend to travel when you're sleeping. Some people have the ability to do that, which is not necessarily the same thing. You're talking about having the projections and being able to be fully awakened or conscious within the projections and leave your body. Okay, this is some top level ninja stuff. Okay, if you're able to do that. But what I am explaining here is what the brain is doing. This is a projection and injection space to balance things within the mind. I personally like to keep a dream journal, and I know people who like to keep a dream journal, but it's important, if you remember your dream or you have this crazy dream and you wake up, it's important for you to write it down or jot it down somewhere and put it in your notes so that you can revisit it later, or you can revisit it, or you can look at every little detail and kind of map out how it connects to the waking world. What is it that this projection is trying to teach you in the waking world of your life? And I guarantee you, most of the time, it's playing out a scenario that you're going through. You could be having issues at work. You could be having anxiety with a boss, or whatever the case may be. And your brain will be like, okay, well, there's too much of this particular chemical. Let me see how I can explain this to you in a parable form, so you can understand that you need to get a hold of this, or you need to balance this within the waking world, so I am not experiencing all of these different ups and downs chemically, and I can be healthy. Now, in terms of dreams, they are also numerically coded, which I can get into an entirely deeper, portion of this, which is talking about the prophecy of dreams, because I know a lot of times I can wake up the next day and decode my dreams, and they also play out in the waking world, meaning that I can predict, games that are going to be won in popular sports with my dreams. I can also predict future events. Sometimes I have celebrities and different people that travel in and out of my dreams, in terms of, their projections coming into my dreams, and I can decode my dreams based on their birth dates, and that will determine something that is going to happen the next day or in the future, based on my ability to be connected to the collective consciousness of what's actually happening, or the web of life within the matrix of the mind that we are collectively experiencing. If you're talking about decoding your dreams, let's say you have a dream about someone, and it could be a celebrity or someone on the world stage, or it could be someone within your life. take that birthday of that person and their age, okay, and other things that are associated with them, and make the connections based on what was happening in the dream, in the waking world. And you can sometimes predict sports events and do some sports betting and actually win, okay, based on what it is that you dreamed about, okay, especially if you set your intention to know and you say, before I go to sleep tonight, I would like to dream about this. Just a little tidbit for those of you who like to, do that type of stuff. If you want to get some type of projection out of your dream, or for your brain to tap into information before you lay down and go to sleep, say, hey, I would like to dream of something that would show me what the future of this is going to be, and it will show you. I have actually done this before, where I was working with someone who was doing the sports betting, and he was like, okay, well, I need you to help me with this. I'm like, let me sleep on it. So I intentionally set my mind to say, okay, whatever I dream about tonight is going to be a projection, and I'll wake up tomorrow and decode it. And what I found is that I had a dream about a certain celebrity. I woke up, I decoded it and found their birthday, the numerical value of their birthday, broke all of that down, and what they were associated with was which was one of the teams that was being asked about. It was UCLA, I believe, and against Rutgers, I want to say. And I was making the projection that, hey, Rutgers was going to win the game. And the person was like, are you sure? Because they're not the best in the game. And I'm like, well, that's what my dream said. And they actually won that game. So you can also set intentions before you go to sleep at night to kind of project within the mind space the future. I remember growing up where, one of my relatives was heavy into gambling and playing the numbers. I don't know if you remember that, but, you used to have a number man that would write the numbers out, and you could play, okay, what numbers are going to fall today? And this relative had a dream book, okay? And the dream book was basically this book that was created with all of these numbers. Come to find out, a dream book was nothing but gematria, okay? Now that I'm older, I understand that I didn't know what it was before. But this relative would ask me, like, okay, what did you dream about? And then they would look it up in the dream book and correlate that number with the dream. And they would win based on whatever the numerical correlation to that was, which is pretty much gematria. So if you're dreaming about a certain person and you break down their birthday, you could possibly use that to, play whatever it is that you want to play and possibly win. Okay, don't say I didn't tell you. Okay, I just gave you cheat code. So I hope you enjoyed this message, and put a comment down in the comment box and just let me know how this message applies to you in your dreams, and what you think about this overall, and how this may have brought clarity to you in terms of what it is that you dream about. Please like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, peace, love, and light.